Do you want to buy a pair of Levi's but have no idea where to start? This video is for you. I have literally brought every pair of Levi's I could get my hands on in my size, and together you and I are going to figure this out, what styles we like and what sizing to go for. As you can see, I'm holding about 10 different pairs of Levi's right now. We're going to try them on and talk them through. In terms of sizing, my waist is a 28 and I'm about 5'4". So the 501 90s are a mid-rise loose fit through the hips and thigh, straight leg. I've picked them up in this light wash. Now Levi's describes this pair as that vintage pair of jeans that you hope to find in a thrift shop without the rummaging. So they're meant to have that cool kind of not too fitted vintage feel, like you have just picked up somebody else's jeans and popped them on. So they're not too fitted, so if you want them more fitted you are advised to size down, or if you want them slimmer to go for the 501 originals. So I picked these up in a waist 28 and an inseam of 32, which obviously will be a little bit long on me because I am on the more petite side. Now the fit of them are really nice. They're nice and loose. They don't feel too tight. They've got quite a nice fit around my waist. I would say like about 2 fingers just there. In the back, obviously there is a little bit of a gap, but it's nothing major, nothing to worry about, like pretty perfect, pretty spot on. I feel like they look quite nice in the front. They don't do too much bunching at the front here, which is good. I feel like I like the fit of them around the top of the thigh. Definitely not as loose on me as I thought they would be based on the size that the model was wearing for her waist size, but they are still a pretty comfortable, kind of relaxed fit. They look okay in the back, nothing too special to be honest, but they look fine. These are quite good. They're nothing amazing, like let's be honest, like they're just a nice fitting pair of jeans. I'll show you from the side. The length of them is perhaps like, I don't know, an inch and a half too long. These are 32. Obviously if I could, I would get a 31. I think that'd be perfect for me. I feel like a 30 probably end up being a little bit too short, but 31 would have worked perfectly. And give them like a full chunky cuff, which is kind of like the perfect length for me. And obviously you could wear them like this as well rather than getting them taken up. Now the next pair that I picked up are exactly the same wash and the same fit, but I have just picked them up in a shorter length just because I knew that I'd really like this pair and I knew that length would be a bit of an issue for me, and I'd have to work out whether I want to get the longer length and get them taken up or whether I would be fine to go with the shorter length, because I am just kind of on the cusp of being petite, being 5'4". And this length is obviously, as you can see, pretty much like the perfect length for me. With socks on, they just touch the ground. I think it's interesting to see 2 different leg lengths because I do tend to lean slightly towards the baggier style. I do kind of tend to like a little bit of bunching going on around the ankles of my trousers where they sort of will sit on my trainers, whereas these have a bit more of a clean finish where they are slightly shorter, and they would look fine with like flat form shoes like Sambas or ballet pumps. But in terms of when I'm wearing my chunkier trainers, I definitely do like to have a little bit of extra length to play with, just to kind of achieve that sort of baggier, oversized fit that I like. And then I also went ahead and picked up the 501 90s in a couple of other shades, just because I did kind of know that this would be the style that I would like the most, just based on what I've seen on other people. So these are in the colorway Not My News Channel, and I just absolutely love the wash of this denim. I feel like it's such a nice darker, warmer shade to wear going into the autumn winter, so I'm really excited to see what these ones look like on. Again, a waist 28, these are a length 32, but these ones are so much tighter. I love the shade of them, like I love this shade. This is exactly the sort of shade that I was after. They are just so tight. What's crazy is they're tight, but they still have a bit of a gap here, which is kind of why I'm just, I don't know if these are made for me. I do obviously really like the way they look in the bum. I think it looks a lot more flattering when they're a little bit tighter. But this definitely is bordering on squashing my bum tight. Obviously these are in a 32 length, so they are too long for me. If I loved them and the fit was great, that's fine. Like I'm happy to take them to a tailor to get them turned up. And then the last pair of 501 90s that I picked up, again in a bit of a warmer tone. Now these ones are just ever so slightly lighter than the last pair. These ones are in the shade Drew Me In. So these are just slightly lighter, but still very warm. I picked them up again in a waist 28, but in an inseam 31, so they'll be slightly shorter. I do really like these. I love the fit of them on. I think they're absolutely perfect on me. The length is perfect, the fit in the front is perfect. I love them in the back. I think think they look really nice. Obviously there's not like anything amazing in the back, they're not super tight or anything, but they just have a nice flattering fit to them. Now these remind me a lot of my Abercrombie jeans, which I showed you guys in my massive Abercrombie jeans haul, which is on my channel. I'll link it on screen in case you are curious to see how those ones fit, but these remind me a lot of those, the Abercrombie loose fit jeans. I have them in exactly the same sort of wash and cut as these. The only difference I would say is that these do feel like a bit more of like a stiffer sort of rigid denim, which I do really like. I like my denim to feel a little bit more rigid and a little bit more like it's holding me in. I love these, I absolutely love these, but they are just very similar to a pair of jeans I already own, so I'm not sure if I can justify keeping them. Here we have the 501 Originals. These are Levi's signature straight leg. These are in a high rise, they're fitted through the waist and thigh, and they're a straight leg. And again, they have no stretch to them. They're in a button-up fly. These are so tight that I can't even get them up all of the way. I've just about got them buttoned up, but let me not move too fast in case the button pops. Obviously I did get them in exactly the same waist. They're a 28 waist, got them in a 30 length. The length is absolutely fine. Obviously they're not quite up as high as I would like to get them up, but I'm not even gonna try anymore. Like I feel like we are on risky ground even getting them done up at this point. I'll show you them in the back. But obviously they are so small for me that they are just completely like squashing everything that I have. Obviously, as you can see, they are a much slimmer version of the 90s. These are obviously like the originals. The 90s are like a loose version of these. I love the wash of them. If this is the fit that you're after, I would definitely say maybe just size up one, see how you do, wear them around for a little bit. If they loosen up, perfect. If not, size up again. Then we come on to the baggy dad jeans. Now, these are inspired by the type of jeans that your dad would rock, but in a baggier style. That's how they're described on the Levi's website. So they're loose through the hips and the thigh, and they're a straight leg. By the way these hang, I feel like they definitely give quite a dramatic baggy feel. I picked these up in a warm light wash, and I picked them up in a waist 28 and a length 32. I really like the fit of these. I think they're a really like cool pair of jeans. Obviously very casual, very baggy, definitely my kind of vibe when it comes to jeans. I love the wash of them. I think they're a really flattering fit in the front. I would just say, obviously they kind of quite tight around here to say that they are meant to be super baggy. They're definitely not super baggy on me. Like in the legs they're nice and baggy, but around here there definitely is a bit of tightness. I don't know if they're gonna kind of, you know, where it's like quite a thin material, I don't know if it's gonna kind of lend itself quite nicely to a camel toe, which obviously is not the vibe that we're going for. So we're gonna have to watch that one carefully. I love the wash of them though. I do think they're a really nice fit. They are quite roomy around the hips, but like nothing too dramatic. Like in the back there is a bit of a gap, but where they're quite thin, it kind of still hugs you. Do you know what I mean? They're not like a rigid material at all. You have to let me know what you think of them in the bum, because I don't know, there's not really much going on. They kind of don't really, they kind of hug around the waist nicely, but then they just definitely drop straight from the bottom of the bum. It's not too flattering in the back, but they're not unflattering perhaps. I really like this style. The only thing I have to say is when I say they are lightweight, they are so thin. I literally, my pajamas are thicker than this. This is so ridiculously thin. Like the material is limp, like it's giving linen limp. So I would say these would be absolutely perfect in summer, like perfect. We're now going into autumn winter, so I don't know. These might actually be my favorite. Lengthwise, these are perfect. Like I wish all of the jeans were in this exact length. They are a 32, but I think where they're a higher waist, they sit obviously higher up. But that shouldn't actually make a difference because it's inseam, isn't it? So that should really not make a difference. I don't know why they're the perfect length, but these are definitely way shorter on me than the previous 32s that we've tried. So if you're my height or above, you would definitely need the 32 or above. If you are below my height, then you might be able to get away with the 30, but I also feel like they would come up quite short to say that these are a 32 on me and they're like the perfect length. I don't know what's going on. So here we have the Ribcage full length straight. These are in a bit of a warmer blue again. This blue is definitely a little bit more vibrant though. It's not quite the color that I was expecting them to be. These ones are a Ribcage, so they are super high rise. They're slim through the hips and waist. I picked them up in a size 28, length 32, but I have heard that they can come up quite tight. So I have also ordered them in another size as well, just in a size up, because I heard that that's what some people tend to do with these, although people say that they stretch. So we'll have to see when we've got them on. Now, I'm just gonna say first and foremost, I'm not sure about the wash. It doesn't feel very me. Where it's like lighter and more distressed in the front, I just feel like it creates too much of a contrast. It's giving noughties, really, isn't it? It's giving early 2000s. Now, this is a waist 28, length 32, obviously super high rise. And when I put on a high rise pair of jeans like this, it does make me think I probably should stick to high rise. It definitely is very flattering for someone of my physique, you know, where I am like obviously a little bit shorter. The fit looks gorgeous in the front. I think they look so good. There is no bunching, it's just smooth and tight, exactly how I like it. I feel like I'm being held in perfectly, which is what your girl needs. From the side, I think they look gorgeous. I'm really happy with the side view. And then in the back, again, I am really happy with them. Now, in terms of length, where they're in a straighter leg, hopefully they would sit quite nicely just on my trainers. And let me maybe just pop on a pair of trainers just so we can have a little look. Okay, so obviously this blue does not go with grey trainers at all, so please excuse that. But in terms of the length, this is kind of what I mean, is that a 32, although it's too long for me technically, with the right trainers, it's actually perfect. Besides the colour, I feel like these might be my favourite. So here we have, again, the Ribcage full length straight. Now these are just in a size up. So I got these in a size 29 waist and a length 32. However, I did go for a slightly lighter wash. This is the type of wash that I tend to lean towards. I do wear a lot of denim in this particular kind of shade. Right off the bat, I feel like they look really nice. I feel like they're a really flattering fit. They're obviously not as tight as what the 28s were on me, which obviously does leave you with just a tiny bit of extra creasing going on in the front here, just where the material's not being pulled so tight. They fit quite nicely around the waist. I would say that's the thing with the Ribcage, is that around the waist, the gap is a lot less, which is really nice. That's obviously the whole point of them. They're meant to like sit really nicely around your ribcage. I love this wash. I definitely prefer this wash to the last wash. In terms of length, it's the same thing. These ones are a 32 length, so they're very long. I think they actually look really nice in the bum. And they look really nice from the side as well. It's not as tight as the other pair, which I liked because it kind of held in my lower belly a little bit more. This is like a perfect pair of jeans. I cannot fault this pair. I'm just gonna show you what they look like with the trainers quickly, because I just want to see how they compare to the last pair in terms of length and everything. They should be exactly the same, but they actually work really nicely. So yeah, a looser fit around the waist, nowhere near as tight as the other pair, but I kind of like the other pair would loosen up, so I think I might prefer the 28. I would just say you probably can get away with sticking to your true size if you aren't quite in between sizes. If you're in between sizes, I definitely would say size up 1. If you are true to your size, usually I would say stay true to your size and see how you go. But for me, staying true to my size and going for the ones that are slightly tighter definitely will work better. Right, then we have the Ribcage wide leg. And now these I'm really excited to try. So again, you've got a super high rise, a slim fit through the waist and hips, which I like. I like a slim fit through the waist and hips, and I do like things to come out a little bit once you get to the bottom of the thighs, just because I think that kind of usually suits my silhouette best. This kind of fit obviously lends itself more towards the 70s sort of style, but I'm expecting these to be quite a dramatically wide fit, which I'm just excited to see how they turn out, whether like you'd style these rolled up, whether you'd style them with boots, with trainers. I'm really excited for these ones. I picked them up in a waist 29, length 32, and then I've also picked them up in a slightly smaller waist as well, just because I wasn't sure what the situation was going to be in terms of waistbands for the Ribcage. Also, I love this wash. It's still a light denim, but it's definitely a bit of a warmer shade, and I feel like, again, this is going to be perfect for autumn, winter. Here we have the Ribcage wide leg in a 29 waist and an inseam of 32, and there are some aspects of these jeans that I love, and there's some aspects that I don't quite like so much. Like, I love the way they look in the front, but then I don't like that there is a massive waist gap, like huge, to say that they're such a high-waisted pair of jeans. Now, it's interesting because you can't really see that in the front. I couldn't size down in these because if I size down, they'd be way too small and they wouldn't fit so nicely in the front. I do just literally need a full 2 inches taken out in the back to make them work for my curves. And that obviously just signals that they're not really made for people more on the curvier side that might have a bit of a bigger bum. Now, in terms of the length, again, obviously they are a bit too long for me because they are a 32, and them being in this wide leg style, it really shows. But obviously if I had heels on, I think they would actually be a really flattering pair of jeans. Now, I love the way that they hug around the top of the thighs. I think that's really flattering to then go into the wide leg. I do love the look of them in the bum, obviously bar the massive gap there. I think they look really flattering in the bum. I love the wash of them. They're a really nice, cool, light denim, which I love. I'm just not sure about a couple of things, which is just the gap in the back and then the wide leg. I really do like it, but it obviously is very dramatic. Let's see, if I turn them up, cuffed jeans are obviously trending at the minute, and these kind of lean themselves to being cuffed quite nicely. I think I really like them cuffed, if I'm honest. I think I would actually just get them taken up like this. This would literally just be like a couple of stitches. I could do that myself. A couple of stitches in the side and then iron them. These are in a 29 waist, so they are quite nice and roomy. I will be interested to see what the smaller waist in these ones will be like. And then we have the ribcage wide leg. Again, these are a super high rise, slim through the waist and hips, and then they're probably going to come out and give a really beautifully dramatic wide leg. I picked these ones up in a size 28 waist, length 32. I've gone for a really warm dark denim this time, and I love this shade. I basically want my collection to basically be either this shade or really light denim, because I think this shade is just lovely and dramatic and warm. I feel like the outfits that you'll be able to create with this shade of denim are endless. I just absolutely love these. First and foremost, I love the wash of them. It is perfection, especially going into autumn. Like, this is the color that I was searching for. I love them so much. The fit around the waist is gorgeous just because they're so lovely and tight. They provide that hold, which I always look for. There is obviously still a little bit of a gap going on around the back of the waist here, like there was on the last pair, but I don't know what I'd be able to do about that. Even if I took them to a tailor's, I don't know if they would want to take them in, because if you were to sit down without that, I feel like they'd be really tight and uncomfortable. They're really nice and tight around the hips and upper thigh, which I love because it just creates a way more dramatic silhouette as they come out towards the bottom into a wide leg, and I just love them. Obviously the length, again, they're a little bit too long for me. I would need to get them taken up or to do this cuffing type style. Because the cuff is so thick, you would still need to put a couple of stitches in it if you were to do that. If I was wearing heels, this is kind of how they would be. I'm just tiptoeing. I think they look beautiful in the bum. Like, just tight in all the right places. I think they are so, so flattering. From the side, they obviously hold me in beautifully in all the right places again. I wouldn't say that Levi's obviously is catered to curvy girls, but at the same time, they do offer those alteration services to make the fit of them perfect to you. So they definitely are inclusive in that sense. Right, so that's everything that I've got to share with you today. Please let me know if this video helps you, and if you want to see more videos of like this from me, then please give this video a like or comment below, and let me know if you want to see more videos where I try everything from a brand.